Hello, my name is Rachel, and my best friend since childhood turned out to be a liar and a thief. You see, Alicia and I had always wanted to start a business together. We had been dreaming about it since middle school. At one point, we started to collect money for it, so that after school and college, we could have enough to start something. Of course, we had to really work to get this money, and we worked during our summers and sometimes after school. By 17, I had several small jobs, and all my money went into a bank account that I had opened with Alicia. She was working a little bit less, but still, she also tried really hard. Then, one day, she met Darren and fell in love immediately. Of course, they started dating and I barely saw her, and when I did, she would just talk about Darren non-stop. I didn't like Darren that much, but it was her choice. Soon enough, she disappeared altogether from my life. I was fine with it. I knew that she would come back. But then something horrible happened. I checked our bank account, and almost all of the money was gone. I was shocked. I immediately called the bank and asked them if this was a mistake, but no, the money had really been withdrawn. Nobody had access to our account except Alicia, so of course I confronted her about it. She acted totally innocent and confused, like she didn't understand how this could have happened and was completely unaware of what happened to the money. I was angry because she was clearly lying to me. And I had no other choice but to leave her alone because I had no proof. But this didn't mean that I couldn't try to figure it out myself. I started to look through her Facebook and Instagram to find proof. Maybe she had bought something expensive and posted about it. But there was nothing. So then I decided to check Darren's pages, and I found exactly what I was looking for almost immediately. I disliked Darren from the start, but this was the final straw. It turns out that he had decided to become a blogger and was making videos regularly. Darren wasn't charismatic or funny, so his videos were horrible, and each of them had only 10 views on YouTube. But the funny thing was how high quality they were. He had a professional expensive camera and other video recording tools. I demanded answers from Alicia at school, and after a few lies, she finally told the truth. Darren said he was very sick and needed money for treatment, and she really wanted to help him, so she gave him our money. But it was all a lie, and he spent all the money to buy stuff for filming and promised her that he would pay her back as soon as he became popular and started making money on YouTube. This was sketchy because, well, she was still with him, but I really didn't want to deal with her at this point and decided to concentrate on Darren. He was pretty open on his social media about where he would do his next blog, so I easily found out where he was going to film his next video. I went to the filming location and just watched for a while how he and his friends were trying to do some weird videos. It looked like they tried to prank people, but it was so awkward. When I couldn't take the awkwardness anymore, I went straight up to them and started to take away their camera and everything without even saying anything. This was rude, of course, but I was so mad at him and Alicia that I didn't care. Darren stopped me and took the equipment back. He didn't understand what was happening, so I told him the story. He was shocked. He never lied about any sickness. In fact, Alicia had been using the money to go out with him the whole time, and then she gave him some of it to buy a camera and other stuff. And yes, he did promise to pay her back eventually. I didn't know how to react, but I wanted what belonged to me, either the camera or the money. Darren outright refused and said, "Alicia warned me that you were crazy." I'm not gonna lie. This was extremely hurtful because Alicia and I had been friends since our early childhood, but I still didn't give up on the idea of taking back what was mine. So I came up with a genius plan. I had a friend named Jeffrey, and he had this low voice, so he sounded way older than he was. We decided to call Darren and pretend that Jeffrey was a lawyer. Jeffrey loved the idea so much it was hard for him not to laugh during the call, but he was brilliant at it. He sounded very official and came up with a lot of made-up lawyer words. His idea was that if Darren wasn't going to either return the money or the equipment, we would take him to court. He even made up some laws that proved our point. Darren was scared, and he promised to give everything back afterward. I'm not gonna lie, we were laughing for about a half an hour after the call. Jeffrey was very convincing. Afterward, Alicia tried to call me like 20 times, but I ignored all of her calls because I was tired of her lies and manipulations. I couldn't hide from her at school, though. She cornered and confronted me at school and accused me of destroying her personal life. Oh, come on! We've been friends for ages, and now she seemed like a completely different person. I stood my ground because I knew I was right, so her tantrum didn't give her the results she wanted. But the worst part came when her parents called mine. Through the screaming from the phone, I understood that I was a blackmailing monster who was preying on their daughter and her money. Ugh. Basically, she played the victim. I spent hours showing proof to my parents, but they didn't care because this whole story seemed crazy to them. And well, it was. Then nothing really happened. I forgot about it and cut off all communication with Alicia. I just had to accept that almost all of my money was gone and I couldn't get it back. Imagine my surprise when Alicia called me after a few months, crying. Darren had broken up with her, and I was her only friend at this point, because during this whole time, she was hanging out exclusively with Darren's friends. She begged me to forgive her and said that she would get my money back. And for a moment, I really wanted to believe her, but I just couldn't trust her anymore. So I simply hung up on her. It was heartbreaking to completely lose my friend like that, but it was the right choice. And Darren? Soon he stopped doing his blogs because he was really bad at them and he was kind of a lazy person. In the end, I lost all my hard-earned money and my friend and potential colleague. But at least I found out what kind of person Alicia was before we started a business together. Nothing comes easy in life. You have to work for it. So I just started to save money again. And hopefully, I'll have enough to do something after college. Have your friends ever betrayed you like this? Tell your stories in the comments. And if you enjoyed mine, please like the video and subscribe to the channel.